Hey everyone, this is 8-Bit Flashback, and today I'm working on my Atari Lynx, and this thing has not been working for about 10 years, so it's time to open this up and find out what's going on. The Atari Lynx was released September 1st, 1989, and it was the world's first handheld portable gaming system with a color LCD. It competed head-to-head with the Game Boy, and then about a year later, the Game Gear and the TurboGrafx Express. The Lynx had a lot of cool features. You could even play some games sideways, and you could flip the screen. And the LCD even has a backlight that can be turned off and on, so you can play this in the dark with no issues. It even had some 3D capabilities. Despite having all these cool features, the Game Boy ended up being the clear winner and destroyed all the competition in the handheld gaming market. And back in the day, I had a Game Boy and a Game Gear, and at that time, I didn't remember hearing anything about the Atari Lynx. In fact, I didn't even own an Atari Lynx until 1997, when the console was considered dead, and I bought it from a site called Video Game Liquidators, and I got it for about $50 with 13 games included. So I've owned this video game system longer than any other system in my collection. But sadly, about 10 years ago, my son was playing this and he dropped it, and it hasn't worked ever since. So I'm hoping today I can finally resurrect my Atari Lynx. So after the console got dropped, it wouldn't power on anymore, and inside when I'd shake it, I could hear some loose parts. So hopefully this is just going to be an easy fix. Maybe I'll have to solder something back together, but I'm just hoping it's not a big deal. So I'm going to start with removing the battery door, and inside there's a screw that we got to remove, located right there. So we'll go ahead and remove that. Now underneath the grips on each side here, we need to peel those off, and there's going to be some screws hidden underneath those. So you're going to be really careful as you're taking these off not to damage your console. And these pads have adhesive on them, so just peel real slowly, and that adhesive should stick with the pads. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the opposite side. Now I got 4 different screws I got to remove. Now I can take the back half of this apart and set that to the side. And here's a look at the guts, and here's what's been making all that noise. The speaker for the system is actually loose. It's supposed to be clipped in place, and that's been bouncing back and forth making all that noise. But I'm not sure this has anything to do with why the system's not turning on. I'm gonna have to inspect this a little bit closer and go ahead and start taking this apart more. So I'm gonna remove the battery tray here, and that'll just slide out. You just gotta slide it past these springs. Now I have a couple ribbon cables to remove, one smaller and one larger. And these each have a small retaining clip that you can loosen with a small flat blade screwdriver. There's a small notch in both of these that you'll stick that screwdriver in. Then you can push that retaining clip down and remove the cable, and the same thing goes for the other one. Now the main circuit board is almost all the way loose, except for we have 2 more clips. One for the backlight for the LCD, and then one for the speaker. And normally that speaker would be secured to the front shell there, but in this situation it's loose, so I don't have to disconnect it. So let's take a closer look now, and after studying this some more, there's definitely a possibility this speaker could be shorting out this main circuit board. There's a power and a ground contact on the speaker, plus it's magnetic, and it seems to be coming in contact with multiple different capacitors on the main circuit board. So this might be the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and secure the speaker back in place, and we'll give it a test. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of glue so this speaker does not pop loose again. And I'll go ahead and give the main circuit board a quick look over just to make sure there's no obvious issues. A lot of time what happens on these older consoles is the capacitors go bad. And it's usually pretty easy to tell if there's a bad capacitor. That's those things that look like little tiny batteries, but what'll happen is they usually swell when they go bad. So the top of it might look rounded instead of flat, or the side instead of looking uniform, there might be a lump in the middle, or there might be a burn mark on it. These are all indications that the capacitor might be bad. And looking at this, I don't see nothing obvious, so hopefully my main circuit board's okay. And here's a quick look at the backlight for the LCD. It's kind of interesting. Instead of having an LED light like the newer handhelds, this has a fluorescent bulb that goes from one side to the other. And this bulb was a huge battery hog. With 6 AA batteries, you're lucky to get 4 hours of gameplay. Okay, I got the Lynx partially back together just for a test, so I'm going to test out the game Hydra, and we're going to see what happens. So before, I was not able to power the console on. Nothing happened at all. So let's see if the Lynx is going to... Oh, something's happening. Yeah! My Lynx is back. It's been 10 years, and my Lynx is now revived. And that was so simple. I didn't expect it to be that easy. I expected maybe I have to solder something or maybe replace a capacitor, but it was just the speaker being loose. I never would have guessed it had been that simple. Now I actually feel silly that I didn't repair this earlier, but I thought it was going to be just a little bit harder. So I've heard of a couple people out there doing some LCD mods for their Atari Lynx to get some better picture quality. Because as you can see, the picture quality on the original screen for the Atari Lynx is not the greatest. So probably here in the near future I will be doing an LCD mod to get some better picture quality. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, please click that like button. And if you want to hear more from me, please subscribe. And if you want to see more of my videos, just click any of these links. And if you want to help support or sponsor the channel, you can now find me on Patreon. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.